All right, Friday's here already. The watch list video for Friday, April 6th. The SPY gapped up today and held up pretty well, but that doesn't mean that much right now because there's, I don't know the exact headline, but something about Trump and 100 billion extra tariffs on China or something, and it has the SPY trading as I'm talking, and it's 7:45 Eastern time in the evening on Thursday. SPY's trading at 262. So it's been a crazy ride lately. Let's go to like 60-minute candles and see what else. So 262. So it's, assuming it stays down, it's going to gap down quite a bit tomorrow. Someone said the Dow futures were down like 400 points or something. I'll say it again. I think it's all negotiating tactics, and I think in 6 months, people will be like, remember when people were freaking out over a trade war, right? And the market will be fine. But tomorrow morning, what does it mean? We'll see, right? We'll see where the market opens up. But I do think it's actually probably creating opportunities. So something to think about. Anyway, what I'm going to do is what I always do. I'm in cash every night, so I'm just going to go ahead and build a list for things that I like for tomorrow. Now, knowing that the market, the Dow Jones might gap down 400 points, that puts a damper on my overnight watch list because I don't know what any of these things are going to look like in the morning. So keep that in mind. But anyway, let's get into the watch list. So real quick, I'm going to show you LFIN from today. Actually, my first idea on this was right around 13:35. It was about 8 to 9 minutes in. I was looking, actually, to be clear, this second candle, these are 5-minute candles, this second candle was forming, right? And it hadn't broken the first candle yet. I said on the microphone, I'm watching this for an inside fives, which at the time, the high of this candle was 13:34, I believe, right? And before the candle completed, it went ahead and took off and took out that 13:35. So a couple people got involved in it on that. It really never gave me the setup I was looking for. It took off too soon. Nonetheless, though, if you had it on 1 or 2 minute candles, it was a very clean little flag after the small gap up and was already on our gap play watch list. So that was what I wrote there. The first mention is a long and chat, and it was a huge move. And then it pops up to whatever the high was, 18 something, and then kind of flags. See this flag right here? And there's the whole number 18. That's why the arrow's pointing. Wayne, again, identified a seller at 18. Right? If that seller gets taken out, we're probably going to get through 18. We're probably going to take out the high of day and maybe continue the squeeze. So it was another great call by Wayne, all based on an inflection point at a whole number. A big seller identified at a whole number with the high of day above as another potential catalyst. So the call was right at 18. And you can see it went to, 22 something without ever revisiting the area. So it was just another great call by Wayne. And I'm trying to use these videos to show you some examples of calls in the room. I don't want you to think that we ever just call something, say, oh, by the way, guys, I just took LFIN or I just took XYZ. I know other chat rooms do that. We don't do that. We give you the ideas ahead of time. Everybody in the chat room knew that Wayne was calling this getting long at 18 bucks if it got there, right? They knew it on this candle and this candle and this candle. We were watching it, right, as this was forming. So I could probably scroll this over, right? So anyway, it looked like that, and everyone was watching it. So anyone that wanted it could have got in, is my point, and that's the way we run our room. So let's go into the watch list for tomorrow. All right, and keep in mind what I said. We're probably looking at a big gap down. NIHD had a really nice run here from 60 cents to the high of 235, and it's really flagging kind of nicely. So I think this is interesting over 235. I would note that it's just run 2 green days in a row. So if it gets there, it's going to be a little bit tired, for lack of a better term. So I would prefer this to flag for a couple more days, but I just happened to stumble across the chart and thought I would at least put it on your radar, but keep what I said in mind. EBIO super strong, and then a super strong second day, and then gap down today, and actually held up pretty darn well. So this one has to go on long watch. TENX, because I'm an intraday trader, I probably wouldn't even have this on watch if I just was going through charts tonight and saw this, right? I'd say, well, it gapped up, popped, but then reversed. Today ran, but then reversed again. But the reason I'm going to have it on watch is because it had news that came out, and a big price target on it too that happened right in here. Big Al in our chat room put the news out before it broke the earlier high, so anyone could have got in it kind of as one of our Tokyo plays, probably under $8 or around $8 anyway. It ended up running from, and I'll just give you the low of this candle, ran from 767 to 931 in 10 minutes. That's a huge move. And then just bled lower the rest of the day, mostly, you know, at the end of the day. So I still think because of this move and because of the news, even though I'm not in love with the daily chart, I'm going to have it, again, I'm a day trader, I'm going to have it on watch, all right? TNTR, remember this one? We were trading this thing on this day. When it looked like this, it was getting massive volume. Look at that, 22 million shares that day, and it was giving some really nice setups. I think we traded that maybe 2 or 3 times that day. Look what it's done since then. That's insane. So it's nothing pretty about this chart. If anything, it reminds me a little bit of Elfin, how it was really strong and then just went to, can I say crap? Yeah, I will. But the last few days, it's showing a little bit of strength. So let's go to like 60-minute candles. You kind of flagging below the whole number 2 and quickly glance at 5-minute candles. Had a nice volume spike today. It actually took it through 2 briefly. So maybe if we get through 2 on volume tomorrow, we take out this 204 and then maybe get a nice upside move. It's certainly oversold. I'm not in love with that one, but I thought I would throw it on. OGEN, this is really thin. It only traded 195,000 shares today. The only reason it caught my attention is because I would say the bulk of the volume came in the last 20 minutes. So something might be up with this one. So I've got that one on my radar. It does make, as you can see from the daily chart there, it does make some big spikes at times. NETE had what I call the Nigerian rally. It was announced that Nigerian was on their board of directors and it had a big 3-day run. And then look what it did. It just quietly, on no volume, grinded its way all the way back down to the 200-day. Then today, big volume again. So I think it's really worth watching for a red to green tomorrow. Couple more. BDR, which had a move from 60 cents to over $1.50 in 2 sessions. Today, much lower volume came in. It's worth watching for a potential bounce tomorrow. Again, only with a proper intraday setup. And then SLS had a really big day and a half move before reversing intraday. And now we're a couple days lower on declining volume. This one goes on bounce watch. We'll look for some gappers in the pre-market too. I'm going to slide this over real quick. I only do this because I just want people to know that I know what's out there, right? And so I know a lot of people have, and I get emails all the time. Hey, do you have a free trial to your room? Because I've watched your videos for like 2 years. I love the way you explain what you do. I think my mindset is kind of in sync with the way you trade. But, and there's always that caveat, but I've joined some rooms that made all these promises and they were terrible. So, you know, that's probably the most common email I get. And because I read that all the time, and believe me, I know what's out there. You know, rooms teaching people to chase and teaching people just to blindly follow somebody. I like to share things like this that were typed in unsolicited, right? They're just typed in the room. Nicholas today wrote Elfin. My best friend played it 4 times. Anyway, you can read it right there. I think stuff like that means more to me than, you know, than if I had some sort of affiliate program and said, hey guys, you know, I'll give you $100 for every membership you sell. And then people go out there and start pumping our chat room. But they're doing it because they're getting paid. I don't have an affiliate program. So stuff like this unsolicited stuff to me is the best testimonial out there. And I'm going to leave it at that. Remember to be cautious. Tomorrow's Friday. You don't want to do something stupid going into your weekend. And we'll see. We'll see if the market gaps down or not. But there should be, man, if nothing else, there should be some big moves tomorrow with the big gap down in the market. All right. Have a great night, and we'll see everybody on Friday.